Shalom Bulan Nwaya and welcome. This is Mapa coming back to you on a Sunday evening rest, um, reflection, and inspiration for a new week's um, Sunday. As Sunday is my day of rest, and these are this specifically this day I like to reflect and just prepare for a new week, and so that is. Going to be part of what I will talk about. As you can see, Sunday alignment, the questions we avoid. So it's more like the hard questions that we ask out that I ask myself, and I would like to bring that up today. So thank you for being here. I welcome you. Stay till the end. I just have a few things that I wanted to share, and I hope that this will kind of, encourage you in your journey. Or if you haven't started anything or you haven't planned anything, um, just hear me out. So I welcome you here. Um, and if you're watching me for the first time, this is my digital business, and I like to share about the things that I learn and that is helping me in my business journey. That I hope can inspire you to know that there's options, that there's opportunities out there. And this is one of it. I still work full time as a registered nurse, and I'm building this business on the side. And so before we rush into a new week, and I hope that you have rested well today, or you you had a great weekend, wherever you're watching this from, whether you're watching the live or you're going to watch the replay. I hope that you are enjoying your day and just taking time to reflect and, um, preparing for this year, 2026, and what it brings for us and what we can do for ourselves. So before we rush into um, a new week, because tomorrow starts a new week for me, I want to invite you into a pause, just simply pause. As it is my rest day, I like to call it a day that we pause, um, and not a scroll, not noise, but just pause. So many of us, many of us are busy. Trying to fix my flower here. So many of us are busy planning, hustling, reacting, but not enough of us are aligning. And what I mean by aligning is like on a day like this, and even the beginning of this year, uh, who are we aligning with, and what are we aligning with? There's not many of us are aligning ourselves, because tonight, so here's the thing: tonight isn't about motivation, it's about honesty, just simple honesty. And why alignment matters, because as you rest, it helps us, it helps us give us that clarity in our journey or in our plans, something that maybe we think about but we are not so prepared to. So in times of pausing, in times of rest, it's not considered laziness, but rest is where clarity forms. And when you pause, you don't lose momentum, you just refine it, you just renew it. And so I like to quote from Proverbs 16:3 that says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." And that has been a part of my journey, the things that I value, and this is part of it. My faith in God and His Word that really aligns me. This is where I stay connected, and it helps me, empowers me, grounds me, and prepares me for a new week. So, but commitment requires truth, and that means asking questions we usually avoid. A lot of times we try to avoid the very honest questions, the ones that really hit hard or hit home. So here are a few questions that I'm just going to say it And so here's the thing. Um, and here's the first question. This is, something that you don't have to answer quickly, but to think about. Are you busy, or are you building something meaningful? There's two different things. Are you busy, or are you building something meaningful? And another one is your current routine producing the life you prayed for? Or is it the same cycle over and over for years and nothing is changing? And here's another question. Are you exhausted because you're working hard, or because you're misaligned? Are you exhausted because you're working hard, or you're misaligned? And another one is, what are you tolerating that's costing your peace? That's costing you peace. What are you tolerating that's costing you peace? And if nothing changes this week, where will you be a year from now? Now, these are hard questions that even I ask myself before I even started this digital business. That there are times that I would ask myself this when I feel so disaligned or not connected to my plans or to seeking God in my journey. And these questions are pretty hard questions, but I believe they bring out the honest answers in our lives. And hard questions, aren't meant to shame you or to shame me, because I ask those questions to myself as well. And it's only a way to like wake me up and say, and remind me of where I'm heading to, where I was and where I want to be, and how can I make that happen, and how can I make that possible. And I've learned that I need to stay aligned uh, to God's word, because I find truth and peace in it that helps me, um, gives me that strength to be able to, and the wisdom and the discernment to make decisions that are right, doing the right things, and knowing that this is something that God has given me. And so, they're meant to wake you up. Like I said, they're meant to wake you up. And so, let's think of intentional reset for the new week. Let's not rush into it, as I said earlier, but let's be intentional. This week doesn't need, more hustle. It doesn't need more hustle. It just needs clarity. For so so before Monday comes, if you already started your week, that's okay. Ask yourself this: what am I committing to, and what am I committing to God this week? My habits, my time, or my decisions? These are all, things that we probably just don't think much about, but these are good questions to ask ourselves. What am I committing to God this week, whether it's my habits, my time, or my decisions? And what needs refining instead of forcing? I believe that we have good intentions, and sometimes our plans, our ideas just need some kind of refining, um, instead of just forcing it, but looking back to see what is working and how can I do it better. And what boundary do I need to set to protect my peace? Also, what step have I been delaying out of fear or comfort? Lots of questions asked here, but I believe these are pure, honest questions that really help us reflect on our journey. And as we prepare for a new week, I hope this helps us you know, align ourselves to our goals, um, and the things that we want to achieve, and staying focused, prioritizing things in life, letting go of what does not work. These are the things that can help us, in your journey as well as mine. And I can say here that alignment always comes before acceleration. So just staying aligned helps us, to grow, um, to grow in a way that is, purposeful, that is productive, that is meaningful. And so I want to share a little bit about myself, and what I have set forth from, for 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 my journey. Just a little bit about me and the season that I'm in. I am committed to growing, not just in business, but in obedience, in character, and purpose. And I'm building a business with intention. I still work full time, but this is my digital business that I'm building with intention, not for status, not for noise, but for impact. I believe growth is most powerful when it stays aligned with Christ. When my faith leads, clarity follows. When obedience comes first, provision finds its place. I truly believe that. And so my plans aren't just about income, they're about um, creating options for families. They're about helping others break cycles of survival. Also, walking alongside people who feel stuck and just reminding them they still have choices. And also, building something sustainable that serves and not consumes, something that is sustainable, that serves and not consumes. And so I'm learning to move with discipline, pray with expectation and act with courage. Even when the path stretches my faith, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm aligned, I'm committed, and I'm available for God to use my work, my voice, and my journey to impact lives. And so, if my story encourages even one person to believe again, to take action, or trust God with their next step, then this journey is worth it. And so, I'd like to quote here. Um, and so, here's the thing. Just reflecting. Um, I like to say how, and I like to ask, how are you growing and what does alignment look like for you in this season? So, like I mentioned, there's lots of questions asked here, but I believe they are meant to be um, a reminder. They are meant to wake us up. If we haven't been thinking along, thinking about these questions, maybe it's about time to really ponder on these questions. If you're just watching me live and you want to watch the replay to get back to those questions, feel free to do that. Share it with someone that you know needs to hear this, or needs to be reminded, or needs that wake up call um, in having to um, to be intentional and to and also to make that change, because nothing changes if nothing changes. So this is just a little bit of what I want to share today, as we prepare for a new week. Whatever your journey is, whatever plans you have, or if there is none yet, I hope that what I've asked here has really stirred something in you to realize that there are options, but you also need to stay aligned in order to make those plans, those dreams work. And so if you have questions, reach out. Feel free to ask more questions. I am willing to share um, how this journey has been for me, and it has helped me in this business journey as well as in my personal life as well. So, thank you for being here and for listening. Like I said, share it with those who need to hear this. So, that's all from me. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, night, whatever time zone you're watching me from. Vinaka Foyexia, and God bless.